It's time to play some stuff.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Play Some Stuff, Mists of Pandaria. I'm MultimediaJay, and as promised, we've got Moonkins. Starting off with the classic Moonkin dance. Of course, now that the Moonkin pet's in the game, you can have your Moonkin dance with another Moonkin and call him Mini-Me or something like that. Where's my UI? Okay. So let's stop dancing like an idiot here. Hawkford is nowhere near as far into the game as my paladin and monk are, who are leading the charge throughout the Pandarian content. And yeah, I love this. Love some of the Moonkin changes, like Glyph of the Moon Beast, which lets Moonkins cast basic heals in Moonkin form, so you can run around in Moonkin form even more and make your character like the World of Warcraft version of a Wookiee or something. I also like that Moonkins can mount now, so you can have Moonkins on motorcycles. This is the kind of stuff that I used to joke about. Moonkins on motorcycles, and now Blizzard has made it a reality. Sure, it looks stupid, but... Okay. So, why are we doing this? Why are we doing this video? Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. I mentioned last time that healer druids were having a little fun with this little skill right here. I think it's over here. Killer Instinct. Convert your intellect into agility as a caster druid in your caster gear when you switch into bear form and cat form. Now, I've heard that Resto Druids have been having a little fun with this, going around soloing in cat form or bear form, and not having to worry about Resto DPS with Wrath or some spell like that. So I want to give that a try here. Yeah, sure, this is a balanced druid, but it's still a caster druid, and I'll compare Moonkin numbers to cat numbers. Remember, we're talking about Resto Druids here. They're not going to have access to the kind of DPS that this Boomkin can do. So let's... I originally wanted to try this on the Hosen down there, but the Hosen stun you. So I figured that might bias the numbers if my character was constantly getting stunned. So let's bust out... Yeah, I got the Key to the Plains transmog on my staff here, so... Kind of looks hilarious that this Moonkin's got a gigantic key on his back. This Moonkin's a comic relief character. Always been that way with the stupid dance, and nothing has changed. So Glittering Amberfly, and we're going to start in Lunar Eclipse with the, thanks to this nice Astral Communion thing. I've tossed around the idea of healing as balance before, because watch this. Let's say, let's go into tree form here and pretend to be a healer. I've tossed around the idea, what if I tried healing with Healing Touch and Rejuvenation in an instance? And then, what do you do about mana? If the group's in no danger, try and alternate the heals with Astral Communion, because every time you do 2 of them, you get Eclipse and your mana comes back. So, let's switch back to Lunar and start in Lunar Eclipse, and we'll see what kind of DPS we can get with Moonfire and Starfire. There we go. Moonkin time. As a baseline, let's take a look at what the DPS caster druid gets versus these dragonfly thingies. And don't forget Star Surge. That's the lava burst of balanced druids. It should be cast every time it's available. And we're picking up characters besides other characters. I don't want them spamming up my meters here. So about 9k DPS is a Moonkin. So about 9k DPS as a Moonkin. So, which is crap. Which is probably why people are complaining about Moonkins being underpowered on the forums. And, oh, don't nerf Moonkins into the ground, or something like that. Or maybe it's a scaling thing where the damage is better at 90. Okay, let's switch to cat form. And let's compare. I don't really know the rotation for cat druids, but I'll try not to mess it up too much. So let's try mangle spamming. This is in Intellect gear. Lousy results. 4K. Maybe I was wrong about this conversion feature. Or maybe I should just use bear form. And here we are, energy starved. But it's important to remember that the reason why... What's my crit in this stuff? Maybe that's the problem. I'm not getting as many crits as I should. Critical chance is... Crit chance is 30%. I don't get why I'm not getting that many of them then. 4K. Is this thing working? Like, is this, let's try bear form. I suppose we really wanted to. We could just do 2 sets of gear. Let's see here. Lacerate. Maul. Mangle. Lacerate. Or maul. Yeah, 4K DPS. But then again, what would Resto do with Wrath? 4K. 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 But at least I'm not hardly taking any damage. Don't have enough rage dumps, though, so I imagine what we could do is use enraged regeneration to keep the health up. 4K, interesting. Let's try cat form again. See if I can get some crits. How come I'm not getting any crits? There we go, 10K. I don't know why crits are so low. These are lower level creatures too, so critical chance should be higher against them. 4K. Oh, there we go. 10K. Huh. Maybe I'm missing something here. Thought Blizzard was going to try and make it so it was more worth it for these druids to do what they do. Or maybe I'm just biased because I'm trying this out as balance. What if I swapped my balance spec for a resto spec and compared wrath damage versus cat damage? Let's go back to Stormwind. How much money we got in this character? 26 gold. Okay, now I gotta twink some gold over for some of my other characters, but I've got plenty of money to cover the changes. Maybe we'll have to try this as Resto. I don't know, maybe because maybe Killer Instinct doesn't work for balance and it's a known bug or something. Let's try this as Resto. Okie dokie. Do a little twist here. We are now Resto. And before you're like, dude, Jay, you're trolling with the Treant glyph. First, no Starfire, either on my bars or in the spellbook. Secondly, Resto type gifts, or talents. Thirdly, oh, whoops, wrong ability. Swift Mend. Alright, let's do our comparisons here, because we got our motley crew of, not to be confused with the rock band, the original definition of that. Okay, our garden variety, I want a DPS on dummies all day long group here in Stormwind. So let's do some Wrath DPS versus these trading dummies, then compare it to the melee abilities. Now, I originally heard about druids having a little fun. I originally heard about Resto Druids having a little bit of fun with, this is 1680 mana only for that, so it doesn't really cost all that much compared to heals, but it is slowly but surely ticking down mana for what, 5,000 DPS? Just Wrath spamming, which is, I guess, it's sad because in Cataclysm, Resto Druids had free Wrath casts, and this Shadow Priest is being a show-off. No, I'm not trying to be a Resto Druid DPS, you bozo. Okay, about 5k DPS. So that's about 5k DPS, and we are in Intellect gear. Yep. That's about 5.5k DPS going around casting Wrath. Let's try Moonfire just for the heck of it. Moonfire debuff. Probably should reset everything. Stop. One of these days I'll stop button mashing. I have to drop combat for this stupid thing to clear. Oh, there it goes. Alright, let's throw in... as soon as the debuff goes off. Alright. Moonfire and Wrath. Try and keep the debuff up. 2k. 2k. 4k. 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 Come on! 5k DPS! Which is crap! This is sad, because even in Cataclysm, Resto Druids were in the worst shape in terms of token damage compared to other healers. Oh, 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 oh! I might pass 6K if I just try harder. Oh, Moonfire. Oh, 6K DPS on a dummy, which is usually not the way things work with fights, but it's good that the token damage that I'm doing here as a Resto Druid is not lowering the old mana pool too much, but it's a step down from Cataclysm when Wrath casts were free. So 6K DPS with a little effort and some lucky crits, and the Moonfire debuff. So let's turn that off. Wait for Moonfire to wear off. Is it done? Let's do cat form. Okay, same gear, using the conversion. Can we match 6K DPS as a cat and have a full mana pool for any needed healing? Alright. Still not seeing very many crits. 4K DPS, and I'm out of energy. Energy starved, just like a monk. So if you wanted to go all the trouble, 4.2K, this isn't working out. What if I use some of the, alright. It's weird because I heard about Resto Druids PvPing in cat form and healing themselves up and stun locking people and stuff, but if that's the kind of damage they're doing, yeah, not good. Bear form, one last time. Yeah, lacerate. Go lacerate! 3K DPS. This is disgusting, man. 4K? Maybe if I put another stack of lacerate on and start getting my mangle procs up. Almost 5K. So, what's this supposed to mean? Is it better to just... Yeah. So you're at about 5 to 6K DPS using Wrath, and we just passed the 5K DPS mark in bear form without having to worry about mana. Just need a full stack of lacerate. Yeah, let's see. Fairy Fire doesn't drop armor apparently for this spec, so... And I don't have a rage dump. Get lost. For Pete's sake, Shadow Priest, there's a million other dummies over there that you can beat up. Okay, 5K DPS. So, Resto Druids overall are in horrible, horrible shape. But apparently some Restos are apparently finding it possible to get out of that. Get out of Stormwind. Like getting out of Dodge, but the Warcraft version. So apparently Resto Druid. I don't know where these Resto Druids are taught. Maybe it was an old post or something, and then it was nerfed or something. But the conversion is working. I mean, let's look at the agility. Interesting. Oh yeah, 95 agility in caster form, jumps up to 46, 42 agility in cat form, and bear form. So the conversion is working, it's just not translating to very much damage. However, Resto in general does pitiful damage to begin with, which is sad even for a healer. Because let me go get my priest, and let me show you what soloing damage for healers should really be like.
Winter. Yes, winter.
Okay, the moose is on the loose, and I've got everybody's DPS on here, including this warlock who's trying to look like a priest. Get the ungrouped and hostiles off so my damage meter doesn't get spammed. Well, we do have the Shadow Priest here, who's a 90.
Greetings.
Let's see here. No, I don't want to know where something is in the city. Okay, are you ready? Power word shield. Inner Fire, Chakra Smite stance versus an 85 target dummy. Okay, ready? Watch this. With the recommended glyphs and stuff like that. Ooh, 30k smite, 7.4k, 6k, 10k DPS. We just passed the 10k mark for a second there. 9k, 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 10k. I don't know why I'm not getting as many crits as I should, but still very much sticking around the 9 to 10k mark at level 85. Which this priest is probably like, what's he doing? And even though it is kind of low damage-wise, look at my mana bar. Nothing's moving. Because this smite stance reduces the mana cost. It reduces the mana cost of smite and holy fire by 90%, and a full stack of evangelism reduces them by another 30%. Meanwhile, 20% damage increase to those spells from evangelism, 50% increase from chakra chastise, and 2 free heals, which make this incredible for soloing, even though this isn't shadow spec. What's this Shadow Priest doing? This is level 90. Let's put ungrouped on there. 17k DPS at level 90. This guy's doing 17k DPS at level 90 as Shadow, and Moose is doing 10k DPS at level 85 as Holy. Ooh, 31k Holy Fire, or Smite or something. Of course, it probably helps that I happen to have the Holy Fire, Smite, and Inner Fire. Well, Inner Fire doesn't affect anything. This is Dark Binding. Oh, that's for Shadow Priests. I have the Holy Fire and Smite glyphs, so very much a soloer set of glyphs right now, but we are now solidly above 10k DPS. Well, let's add the ungrouped back in for a second. Okay, now the priest is going, now that Shadow Priest at 20k, which is more appropriate for his level. I'm curious what I'll be doing at 90 with this guy. Oh, and by the way, 0 mana consumption, so... Oh, now 11,000 DPS. And I don't even have any cooldowns popped. Surprised the Shadow Priest hasn't made fun of me yet. 34,000 DPS, or 34k damage smite. It'll be interesting to see what this guy does at 90. Anyways, that is what token damage for soloing and contributing to dungeon runs should be. The Disciplined Priest is a little behind the Holy Priest right now, but of course the Disciplined Priest damage heals people, whereas the Holy Priest has to choose between token damage or healing people in most cases. Oh, forgot to make the window here, so I don't want to. All right. So there's the numbers. We ended up at 11k DPS. So I don't know what was going on with those people saying that Resto Druids were PvPing, but maybe I should be a little more skeptical about people saying that the conversion is working well. Oh well, that was an interesting discovery. Oh, these Resto Druids were PvPing in cat form. Maybe it's been nerfed since then. Okay, that's enough messing around with token damage on healers for now. Till next time, this is MultimediaJay, signing off. Thanks for stopping by, and game on!